So in the beginning of movie, Alain was an insurance broker who loved playing video games in his free time. One evening, as he was deeply focused on his computer, his wife, Mary, reminded him that they had to go see a house. Realizing the time, Alain quickly shut his game, grabbed his keys, and hurried out to his car. Meanwhile, Mary was already waiting outside the house with the real estate agent, Frank. As Alain arrived, Frank greeted him warmly and began showing them around. They started with the living room, then moved to the kitchen, and finally the bedroom. The house was spacious with large windows that let in plenty of light. As Alain stepped onto the bedroom balcony to get a better look at the surroundings, Mary noticed an old dusty car parked nearby. Curious, she asked Frank about it. He assured her that the car would be removed before they moved in, so there was nothing to worry about. After the tour, Alain and Mary took a moment to discuss the house. It was much bigger than they had expected. Alain hesitated, wondering if such a large house was really necessary for just the two of them. He wasn't sure if it was the right choice. Seeing his uncertainty, Frank grew a little nervous, fearing that they might not buy the house after all. Frank smiled mysteriously and told Alain and Mary that he had a secret to share about the house. He explained that this house had something special, something no other house in the world had. Curious, Alain and Mary listened as Frank led them toward what looked like a sewer entrance in the basement. Mary frowned and asked, "Are you seriously taking us to a sewer?" Frank chuckled and shook his head. "This isn't a sewer. It's actually the entrance to a hidden part of the house. If you want to see its true secret, you'll have to follow me." With that, Frank stepped inside. Alain, eager to see what Frank was talking about, followed him. However, Mary hesitated and refused to go. Seeing this, Alain turned back and pleaded with her to come along. Reluctantly, she agreed and stepped in behind them. Just as they entered, Frank told Mary to close the door behind them. He insisted that this was necessary for them to see the house's real magic. Unsure but trusting him, Mary did as he asked. The moment they stepped further inside, something strange happened. Instead of finding themselves in the basement, they somehow appeared back on the first floor of the house. Alain and Mary were completely stunned. How was this possible? The basement had turned into some kind of hidden passage, almost like a wormhole, that had transported them right back upstairs. As Alain looked around, he realized something strange. It was now morning, even though they had come to see the house in the evening. Mary was just as confused. She couldn't understand how they had gone down to the basement, but somehow ended up back on the upper floor. For a moment, Alain even wondered if they had accidentally entered a different house. Sensing their confusion, Frank quickly explained, "We are still in the same house. That passage in the basement isn't just an ordinary way in. It's actually a time travel portal. It moved all of us 12 hours ahead in time." Frank then looked at his watch and continued, "We entered at 8:15 last evening, and right now, it's 8:27 in the morning. That means we came out exactly 12 hours later, and 12 minutes have passed since then." Alain was shocked. "Okay, time travel is one thing," he said, "but I still don't understand how we ended up on the upper floor after going down to the basement." Frank didn't give a direct answer to Alain's question. Instead, he smirked and said, "That's not the only special thing about this house. There's something even more incredible." Before Alain and Mary could ask more, Frank changed the topic. "A lot of people are interested in buying this house," he told them. "So if you want it, you'll need to decide quickly." With that, Frank left, leaving Alain and Mary to process everything. As they walked out, Mary turned to Alain and said, "Let's go home and talk about this. We need to decide whether we really want to buy this house or not." As Mary starts her car, she suddenly notices two children running across the road. For a moment, she seems lost in thought. The scene then shifts forward a few days, revealing that Alain and Mary have decided to buy the house and have already moved in. On their first day in the new home, Alain spots a stray cat wandering around. Finding it friendly, he decides to keep it as a pet. Meanwhile, Mary is inside near the mysterious time portal in the basement. After organizing their things and settling in, both Alain and Mary feel happy with their decision to buy the house. They celebrate their new beginning and after a long day, finally go to sleep. The next day, Alain invites his friend Gerard and Gerard's girlfriend, Jeanne, over to see the house. While chatting outside, Alain notices that the old car, which Frank had promised to remove, is still parked there. Gerard, however, is immediately drawn to it. He admires the model and suggests that Alain should get it repaired, insisting that it's a classic worth keeping. But Alain, who isn't particularly interested in cars, shrugs off the idea and doesn't give it much thought. As they continue talking, Jeanne looks around and asks Alain where Mary is, noting that they haven't seen her since they arrived. Alain casually responds that she's inside the house. At the same moment, Mary is seen emerging from the basement, carrying the time portal device. In reality, she had gone inside it the previous night, but she quickly comes up with an excuse. Smiling, she tells everyone that she was just taking a bath. With that, they all move to the dining area and sit down to enjoy dinner together. As they sat together, Jean insisted that Gerard share something interesting about himself. After a brief pause, Gerard revealed a secret. He had recently undergone a surgery to get an electronic electronic implant. He explained that this implant was a special device that he could control directly through his smartphone. Hearing this, Alain felt tempted to share a secret of his own, the time portal hidden in their house. Just as he was about to speak, Mary quickly interrupted him. She didn't want anyone else to know about it. In reality, when Frank had told them about the house's unique features, he had shared something even more astonishing. Besides time travel, the portal had another effect. Anyone who entered it would become 3 days younger each time. This was the real reason Mary had been so eager to buy the house. She saw it as a chance to turn back time and regain her youth. After some time, Gerard and Jean said their goodbyes and left. Once they were gone, Mary turned to Alain and suggested, "Come, let's go to the basement together." But Alain, feeling exhausted, shook his head. "I have to go to the office tomorrow. I need to sleep." Mary was annoyed by his refusal. Without saying anything, she turned and went into the portal alone. The next morning, as Alain was getting ready to leave for work, he stopped by the portal's exit and called out, "Mary, I'm heading to the office." He expected her to hear him, but there was no response. At the office, Alain was in the middle of a conversation with a client when Gerard's assistant suddenly approached him. The assistant informed Alain that Gerard wanted to see him in his cabin right away. Without wasting time, Alain got up and headed to Gerard's office. As soon as he entered, Alain asked, "Why did you send your assistant to call me when you could have just called me yourself?" Gerard smirked. "I like to keep my assistant busy. Keeps him on his toes," he joked before getting to the point. "So what do you think about my electronic implant?" Alain thought for a moment before replying, "Honestly, I think getting the transplant was your personal choice. It's your body and I respect that. You don't have to worry. I'll never judge you for it." Gerard was pleased to hear this and smiled. "I appreciate that," he said, clearly happy with Alain's response. Meanwhile, back at the house, 12 hours had passed. Mary finally stepped out of the portal, feeling refreshed. After taking a bath, she sat down and started looking at old photos of herself from her youth. As she stared at them, an idea struck her. She decided to place a mirror right outside the portal's exit. This way, each time she came out, she could immediately see how much younger she had become. Excited by the thought of reversing her age even further, she quickly went back inside the portal for another round. That evening, Gerard and Jean were having a private conversation. Gerard brought up his chat with Alain earlier and mentioned, "You know, I got the feeling that Alain's wife wasn't too impressed by my transplant. She didn't have any reaction at all when she heard about it." Jean shrugged, unsure what to make of it. Back at home, Mary stepped out of the portal once again, only to find that Alain had already returned from work and was fast asleep. She felt a strange sense of importance to him. After all, while she had been inside the portal, time had been moving forward for him. Feeling eager to see if her transformation was noticeable, she leaned over and gently kissed Alain to wake him up. "Do I look any different to you?" she asked excitedly. "I went into the portal 3 times, which means my age should have decreased by 9 days. Alain looked at her sleepily and, without overthinking, simply said, "You look the same as before." Mary's excitement faded slightly. She had expected a noticeable change, and Alain's indifferent response left her feeling a little disappointed. That evening, Alain told Mary something strange. "When I came home today, I saw our cat sitting near the portal, making noises as if it was trying to warn us about something bad. I really think we should close this portal." Mary, unimpressed, rolled her eyes. "You're just making up stories because you're alone too much," she said dismissively. Ignoring Alain's concern, she stepped back into the portal once again. The next morning, when Mary emerged, she eagerly looked into the mirror, expecting to see a change. But to her disappointment, she looked exactly the same. Meanwhile, at the office, Alain went to Gerard's cabin to discuss some work. However, Gerard was distracted and invited Alain to join him for some shooting practice instead. While firing the gun, something went wrong, and Gerard was hit with a powerful shock, knocking him to the ground. Later, while driving back, Gerard admitted to Alain that the shock had affected his electronic implant. Concerned, Alain suggested he get it repaired, but Gerard explained that the procedure wasn't available anywhere in Europe. He would have to travel to Japan, where he originally got the transplant. After thinking it over, Gerard decided to go to Japan for the repair. Before leaving, he handed Alain the keys to his house and said, "Give these to Jean." Agreeing to Gerard's request, Alain went to give the house keys to Jean. However, when Jean learned that Gerard had gone away, she immediately grew suspicious. She assumed he had left with another woman. Feeling betrayed, she casually remarked that since Gerard was off with someone else, she, as his girlfriend, should also be free to do the same. Her words had a clear implication. She was hinting at Alain, but Alain, being a married man, chose to ignore her advances. Without responding, he quietly handed over the keys and walked away. Meanwhile, Mary had started to grow suspicious of the portal. Despite using it multiple times, she saw no visible change in herself. To test if it was truly working, she took a small piece of apple from the kitchen and stepped back inside the portal. Her plan was simple. If the portal really reversed time, then after 12 hours, the apple should come out looking fresh and untouched, proving that the portal was functioning as expected. Later that evening, when Alain returned home, he found a note from Mary. It simply read, "I will meet you tomorrow." The message confused Alain. What did she mean by tomorrow? Lately, she had been spending more time in the basement than with him. Feeling uneasy, Alain sent her a voice message, asking what she meant and when exactly he would see her again. The next evening, while Alain was resting, Mary woke him up and excitedly showed him the apple. "Look at this," she said. "It was rotten before, but now it's completely fresh again. This proves that the time portal really works. It can reverse aging. With this, we can stay young forever. We can even become immortal." She then turned to Alain and warned him, "Promise me you won't tell anyone about the secrets of this house." Alain, already frustrated, snapped back, "I have more important things to worry about than this." This led to an argument between the two. In the heat of the moment, Alain took a bite of the apple, only to recoil in horror. Inside, the fruit was infested with ants. Disgusted and disturbed, Alain suddenly felt a wave of fear for Mary. Panicked, he immediately took her to a doctor and asked a bizarre question. "Is it possible for ants to grow inside a person's body over time?" The doctor looked at Alain as if he had lost his mind. Unable to get any answers, they were forced to return home. As they arrived, Alain anxiously explained his fear to Mary. "What if, just like the apple, you only look young on the outside, but your body is still aging on the inside? What if something is growing inside you?" Mary, unfazed, grabbed a knife from the table and handed it to Alain. "If you really believe that," she challenged, "then go ahead, cut my skin and check." Alain hesitated, disturbed by her desperation. "Why are you so obsessed with this? Why do you want to keep using the portal?" Mary's eyes burned with determination. "Because I never got the chance to become a model," she admitted. "I lost that dream once, but now I have a second chance. I will make it happen this time." Without another word, she turned and stepped into the portal once again, vanishing. At that moment, Alain's phone rang. It was Gerard calling from Japan, where he was undergoing his transplant repair. "Hey Alain, today is Jeanne's birthday. I need you to buy a nice gift and give it to her on my behalf, okay?" Alain, following his boss's suggestion, bought a purse as a birthday gift for Jeanne on behalf of Gerard. Meanwhile, in Japan, Gerard's operation was declared a success by the doctor. However, just as he was receiving the good news, there was a sudden short circuit in his electronic transplant, sending a sharp shock through both him and the doctor. Back at home, Alain met with Frank and told him everything about the portal. Worried about Mary's obsession, he asked, "Can someone go insane from using the portal too many times?" Frank sighed and simply replied, "If the portal is causing problems, the best thing you can do is seal it forever." Later, Alain went to give Jeanne the gift from Gerard, but he left immediately upon seeing her with another man. As time passed, Mary's obsession with the portal only grew stronger. She was spending almost all her time inside it. Concerned for her, Alain decided to seal the portal before things got worse, but Mary refused to let him. Meanwhile, Gerard returned from Japan with his transplant repaired. He also had a new girlfriend, whom he planned to marry soon. However, things took a turn when his wife caught him cheating with his assistant. After a bitter divorce, tragedy struck. One day, while leaving work, Gerard's transplant malfunctioned, causing him to get into a fatal accident. He died instantly. Years passed, and Mary's repeated use of the portal eventually reduced her age to 20. With her youthful looks restored, she pursued her long-lost dream of becoming a model. However, one day during a photo shoot, a man tried to take advantage of her. Traumatized by the incident, she quit modeling, but continued using the portal obsessively. Her mental state started to decline. She was losing touch with reality. No matter how much Alain tried to stop her, she refused to listen. Eventually, her condition worsened to the point where Alain had no choice but to admit her to a mental hospital. As soon as she was gone, Alain sealed the portal forever. Inside the hospital, Mary reached her breaking point. One night, in a fit of despair, she attempted to take her own life by slitting her wrist on a glass pane. But as the blood oozed out, she made a horrifying discovery. Just like the apple, her body was rotting from the inside. Ants crawled out from her wound, confirming Alain's worst fears. By then, it was too late. With this chilling revelation, I hope you enjoyed this story. If you liked the video, don't forget to drop a like and a comment. And if you love our content, make sure to subscribe. I'll be back soon with another great movie recap. Until then, take care and thanks for watching.